Hello, I'm Wicus Cronje, and this video is going to outline the importance how to select your Dorper ewes. Dorpers are a self-replacing meat sheep. There is no wool to shear. So if you do not have a lamb every year, you have nothing to sell. Dorpers are capable of providing many lambs. Fertility is of number one importance. You must cull for fertility. There can be no compromise, as your objective is to be turning kilograms of lamb meat off your property. To keep them fertile and producing, your management and husbandry skills are important, and nutrition is a very key factor. Good nutrition is very important at key points in the ewe's life. The first 12 weeks are very important for ewes to get a good start in life and be highly productive. If they have a tough start, they will struggle their entire lives to be as productive as they could have been. When I visit farms, the farmers will always tell me that there are some drops where the ewes always join up very quickly and have plenty of multiples. And there are some drops that just do not perform as well. Ewe lambs that are born in drought-effective conditions will always struggle in the fertility area if they have not had supplementary feed, and this is true of any breed of sheep. Dorper ewes can be very productive if they have been set up to succeed. Mature ewes, which is second lambers, will usually give about 130% lambs to ewes joint in normal grazing conditions, with good management and predator control being good. Maidens will usually provide 90% lambs to ewes joint in the same conditions. Dorper ewes will start cycling 6 weeks after lambing, so rams can be put in when lambs are being marked and pulled out when the lambs are being weaned. It must again be emphasized that this only provided the ewes are doing well and enjoying good nutrition during this period. Often 80% of the ewes joined will be in lamb upon scanning from such a joining. So if the season are with you, there is the opportunity to make a lot of money with the Dorper. 3 lambings in 2 years are regularly achieved. There are periods when this will not be possible and ewes will need to recover their condition after weaning the lambs. The breed standards for ewes are similar to the rams, but we are looking for those features that makes a feminine. So as with the ram, let's start at the head. At the risk of repeating myself for those who have seen the selection of the Dorper ram video, I will go over the same details again. But please note the distinct feminine shape of the ewe's head compared to the distinctly masculine ram's head. So we want a long, wide head with strong jaws that bite correctly, that is strong but feminine. A long head correlates with a long body, a long rump, body weight and growth rates, while strong jaws correlates with growth rates, better converters of feed, stronger boned animals, more muscle, and non-selective feeders. While the animals with fine jaws correlates with fine boned animals, selective feeders, weaker growth rates, and also less muscle. Width in the head correlates with a wide body, better eye muscle, wider on top of the rump, better sprung of rib, and better growth rates. And narrow in the head correlates with less eye muscle, cylindrical sheep, flat-sided animals, and less weight. And also with the long ears, we want long ears because ears are cartilages and cartilage is part of the bone. And long ears correlates with good temperament, a noble nose, and very good bone structure. That is why you can start at the head and quickly recognize a good quality ewe head, and that will make it easier for you to identify quality ewes. The other key attributes we must look for include structure and phenotypical correlations between fertility and lambing abilities. The size of the ewes is important to consider in how you select your ewes. Because we generally run 1,000 ewes to say 20 rams, it is important to know what is the optimum size of your ewes. We would not want 100 kilogram ewes roaming around eating all your feed. This is a very inefficient factory for no particularly better outcome than say a 80 kilogram ewe. Dr. Quinton Campbell did a lot of research on this, and the optimum size is the slightly larger size of medium. We definitely do not want small ewes. They are the most inefficient. Looking at the slightly larger than medium size ewes, it is so that these ewes have the size and capacity to put into their lamb progeny and help them finish in tougher periods. They are also the most efficient at converting feed into lamb meat. The slightly larger than medium also have the ability to have more lambs and their lambs grow faster. Stay away from the smaller ewes and the very large ewes as always. The golden highway down the middle, staying away from the extremes. The environment is also going to determine your size. And if we can quote Dr. Quinton Campbell in his book, if you select for the traits influencing adaptability, growth, low mortality, reproduction, disease resistance, and mass gain of progeny, you will then breed the right size and type of Dorper for your environment. Body fat has a direct correlation to fertility, and the ewe need to have enough fat reserves to put into her lambs. So it is important to select for the wet ewes and not the dry ewes who do not have enough body fat. Remember, as we said with the rams, the cover should be a mixture of hair and wool, and it should be short, loose and light with a clean belly. The very clean hair only coverings tend to be dry, and the very woolly coverings tend to be dry also. That means no body fat. But the short, loose and light coverings tend to correlate with the wetter ewes with better body fat. Sound structure is important to give us longevity. The most expensive sheep on your farm is the maiden ewe that you have kept to breed with. Instead of selling her for slaughter at 6 months, you have kept to breed her at 8 months, and provided she is in good forward condition, around 50 kilogram of weight minimum. If she gets pregnant first joining, she's going to have a lamb finally at 13 months, and at 19 months you sell a lamb and finally have a return. Meanwhile, the mature ewes have probably had 2 lambings in that time frame of 19 months and have had 130% of lamb, and your maidens have produced 1 at 90%. Ewes are most productive from 3 years to 6 years and will often breed and raise lambs until 8 years depending on your pastures. Unless you are expanding the flock size, we want to keep the percentage of your maiden ewes as low as possible, as they are the least productive. So we do not want to have to turn around and cull the ewe at 2 years because we selected badly. So there is the 3 words that is very, very important, and that is selection, selection, and selection. The right selection of ewes and rams makes you a lot of money in your flock's efficiency. So we need sound structure ewes. As with rams, we are starting at the forequarter. When we are looking at the ewe from the front, her front legs must be straight and not too wide. And a wide enough brisket between her legs is very desirable. And when we are looking at the ewe from the side, we want the brisket to be protruding about a hand's width in front of her legs, so that there is a correct couple of the front legs to the shoulder area. And if we draw a line vertically upwards from a hoof, the line should end up on top of the shoulders and not in the neck. If we move further on to the body or the barrel, we want a long and deep body. A long and deep body is correlated with good growth and weight and have the capacity to raise twins better. We should avoid long cylindrical bodies. We want the rumps to be long and wide. We do not want the rumps to be too straight, and a slight dip in the tail is good. A short and very straight rumps tend to lead to lambing problems. The ewe must not to be too heavy muscled at the back. The muscle type to avoid is where it is carried high. It is called a bubble butt, but it is not good on the farm. We must have muscling that is longer and muscle that joins lower on the leg. We are looking for nice wide rumps that extend normally into good eye muscles straight into the shoulders. The back legs should not be cowhocked, sickle-hocked or post-legged. Good structure means good feet and walkability and longevity of service. Weight gain in lambs is of the utmost importance to your financial success. So we need ewes that have good udders and produce good amounts of milk. You can see good teeth development in maidens when you are making selections. It is very important that the ewe have to have a feminine shape. We do not want it to be too deep or wide in the chest. We want a heavier in the back than in the front, a wedge shape which correlates directly to fertility and mothering abilities. I hope you have found these introductory to Dorper sheep videos helpful. If you want to go into much more detail, you should contact your Dorper Society to find out where the next Dorper schools are being held. These are 4 to 5 day courses. They are a must for people wishing to start a stud. But many commercial growers also attend that to get their eye in for the all-important selection process.